Journey is an experience like no other. I have never had a piece of media strike such an emotional chord with me without any words spoken. I can't speak about this game like I speak about other games. Other games are objective, Fallout is a post-apocalyptic RPG, Call of Duty is an online shooter, Minecraft is a sandbox, but the story and gameplay of Journey is something that I can't label so easily. No, Journey is a work of art. Prior to playing the game, my only experience with Journey was the Minecraft PS3 skin pack, so this will be a lot of fun to go blind in. I was very lucky to have this game bought for me by my good friend AltoTheWolf. I didn't tell her I was making this video, so hopefully this is a nice surprise. Oh, and just before we get started, I wanted to let you all know that I've made a Discord. Check it out in the description. It's super chill. I won't ping you all the time, I promise. Okay, so what is Journey? Well, Journey is a 2012 video game developed by ThatGameCompany and published by Sony on the PlayStation 3. In July of 2015, it was ported to PS4 and then eventually ported to Windows and iOS in August of 2019, with fans and critics alike calling this game a masterpiece. Reviews praised the graphics, the soundtrack, and the emotional response. The only cons I could find were, oh, the game could be a bit longer, innit? And that's barely a con, is it? Okay, so that's not entirely true. Some users on Steam reported that they had audio issues, which sucks for them, but I guess they patched it now because I never experienced it. And some people complained about it being a walking simulator, but like, come on. But overall, people were very happy with the game and the developer went bankrupt. Fuck, not again! Nah, they were fine. They went bankrupt during its development since it got pushed back a year. Jenova Chen, co-founder of ThatGameCompany and designer on Journey, revealed in a DICE talk in 2013 that Journey actually began development all the way back in 2009. Along with Journey, they signed on to make two more games, being Flow 2007 and Flower 2009. After Flower was released, a 7-person dev team for Journey was made, mainly by the creators of the previous two games. Over the span of the game's development, they eventually grew to a team of 18. Before Journey was even Journey, the team was trying to make a game focused on cooperation. They began with a game called Roping, which was hitting the target of requiring teamwork, but they wanted a game that could be played alone if their player wanted to. The next game, Dragon, was sort of similar to an itch.io game, where players would try and distract enemies in order to progress. Dragon was a full player experience, which unfortunately led to groups of 3 leaving someone behind, so it was scrapped for going against their goal. They next attempted a 3D game that was more similar to the final game, codenamed Ninja. The character design had arms, which just feels very weird. Utilizing Ninja, ThatGameCompany released a concept trailer to help cement their idea in the visual tone of Journey. In the final shot, it shows 2 players approaching the final area, which is something carried on to the final game. The final prototype was called Chicken, and you can see that most of the pieces are in place. The player character looks much closer to the final design, and red cloths are responsive to the chirps. When development began, they were given a year to complete Journey, which is ridiculous, so they naturally received an extension. Apparently, the dev team had troubles with focusing their ideas on the game and maintaining efficient communication. In a Game Developer 2012 article, producer Robin Hunick says, "When you work on high-pressure projects, you're bound to get into situations where you are angry and frustrated to the people that you work with. And it's impossible to hide that, but it's often really difficult to confront it and process it in a way that gets resolved." Chen and the studio's main goal for Journey was not only to bring players together in a unique way, but to elicit different responses from the player. He says, "There are a lot of action games, there are a lot of horror games, sports games. They have a lot of equivalents in movies as well, but where are all the dramas, where are the documentaries, the romance? All these feelings are missing in the video game industry." They took that as a challenge to prove that video games could be more than just a simple objective. Chen then continues to say that popular online games are just killing each other or killing people together. They're built on existing single-player mechanics like shooting or fighting. He also says that single-player games are about empowerment and how that's not really a rare experience anymore. With today's society being empowered by technology, being able to travel faster than ever possible on foot, or communicate with people across the planet, or just having every answer you could need in your pocket, Chen and his team show a fundamental understanding of the human condition, and that's part of what makes Journey such an artistic, raw, human experience. Chen explains that most modern games lack a feeling of the unknown, that sense of wonder and not understanding the world around you. Not many games make you feel small like Journey does. Finally released in May of 2012, Journey changed lives. Okay, I know I'd normally do like a little transition here, but I mean it. I mean, it's kind of hyperbolic, but the reviews and comments of Journey's OST, you can see so many people that were touched deeply by this game. This is your final spoiler warning. You should play this game. Seriously, it's like an hour and a half of your life. Come on, just go do it. I'll wait. Alright, done? Great, let's go. I was going to break this section up between gameplay and story, but they're so intertwined that it just feels wrong discussing one without the other, so I'll call this the experience. When you start Journey, you're presented with 3 options: start, options and quit. The background is simple, but it instantly invokes a sense of isolation and scale. In the seemingly infinite desert, you see 3 stones at the peak of a hill, with flags blowing aimlessly in the wind. When you begin the game, you're shown a cutscene. We start on shots of the desert, the sun, and more of these stones. A ray of light soars across the dunes, and then there's you. The cutscene seamlessly transitions into gameplay with some of the only instructions that you'll ever get in this game telling you how to look around, which is one of the most important things that you'll ever do in this game. You're given control but no instruction on how. When I gain control in a video game, I tend to press every button to see what I can do. Oh, I made a noise. This is called a chirp and I used it a lot throughout my run. Without telling you what to do, your only lead on what to do is to approach the stones from the title screen. The camera pans out and the title of Journey appears. The mountain in the distance is just begging you to approach it. We skate down the hill and we're presented with a broken house. We find a glowing symbol at the top with a group of red cloths. The symbol grows our scarf size, which allows us to fly for longer when it's charged, and it also acts like a health bar in the later sections. That's so fucking genius. I can name 15 games that would just give you another bar on your health and that would be the end of it. But Journey grows your scarf, relaying feedback without the need for a HUD. This game has no HUD elements, which is another way that immerses you further into its world. You can find additional symbols that will extend your scarf even longer. Not long after, the game tells us something else. By holding your chirp button, you can unleash a bigger chirp, which will cause red cloths to respond to you all at once. That's the last video game tutorial you get. The game never tells you a button prompt or a game related instruction again. From here on out, the game immersively guides you and shows you how to play. We reach a statue at the end of this area. By sitting in front of it, we're shown a cutscene, told in a way that isn't made clear what's happening. No narrators speaking to you, it's all just your interpretation. When you return from the cutscene, the way through is clear. As I arrived at the next area, I realised there was no loading screen. This may be a PC exclusive thing, but Journey never wants to stop you. The entire experience is a seamless transition from area to area. The red cloths in this game don't do anything until you interact with them. I activated this big cloth and it made the bridge for me. That's nice. But as the camera panned back, I thought I fell off the platform during the cutscene. That's weird, I didn't even touch my controller, but oh! It's another me! I thought they were like a game. Okay. I thought they were like a Ghost Rider in Mario Kart, like it was following my actions, but then they began to chirp too. Is this a fucking multiplayer game? I didn't know that. That's so cool, but I don't really need them. As I made my way over to the bridge, a bit of percussion played in the background, and the bridge charged my scarf, allowing me to fly near continuously as I crossed it. I was instantly pumped up and I felt that sense of empowerment that Chen discussed earlier. Another cutscene and I stand before a white figure. They tower over me and look down at me, what I interpret to be curiosity. The cutscene plays again, but they're so vague, so I'll skip over most of them until later. Back in the dunes, we're shown how much further we have to go, and that sense of empowerment is ripped away as the sensation of feeling small washes over us again. The next thing of interest we find is a lone cloth. Activating it will release a cloth creature. These, along with everything else in the game, is unnamed, so I'm just calling them cloth creatures. The cloth creatures will fly alongside you and recharge your scarf, so if you time it right, you can fly with them indefinitely. The cloth creatures will also chirp, but theirs lacks a symbol. After crossing the dunes, we find more ruins. As we make our way to the top, we find more of the cloth creatures trapped inside the architecture. We manage to release a few, but a lot of them are still confined. We make our way higher, seeing more and more trapped cloths. At the summit, another statue shows us a vision. After the vision, the cloths are released and the music begins to swell. Excitement and wonder fills you again, and now you're travelling with the creatures. Skating down the dunes, flying around, passing through obstacles with ease, you feel the freedom that these cloth creatures must be feeling. You gently float down to the next area. By releasing more red cloths and singing, you manage to soar through to the next skating section. I'm going to take a minute to discuss the visuals here. This game is fucking gorgeous. The deserts never look so beautiful. Maybe I'm just used to Fallout's deserts. With the sunset dyeing the area orange, you and the cloth creatures begin to blend into the environment, which normally would be a bad thing, but here it feels more like you and the creatures are one with nature, like you're all part of the same system. I mean, just look at this. We fall down into the next area and the style of the game changes again. We find another statue, we're shown another vision, and the door creaks open. We move on. What was once warm colours in the desert is now cold, almost monotone colours in the underground. Oh hey, it's another player again. We chirp together, and that's when I realised that my scarf was longer than theirs. It's not the first time. I wasn't particularly going out of my way to find all the symbols, but I guess we had different experiences with the game. As we cross the abyss, I don't feel the need to wait for my companion. I didn't need them before, so I don't really need them now. I suppose that's what Chen wanted, for us to evaluate our need for companionship. The music here was really quiet, and my chirp didn't make a noise. Oh god. My chirps are silent, like my character's so overwhelmed by fear that nothing was coming out. This is really specific, but these elicit the same kind of feeling that I get from the Gorgons in Destiny's Vault of Glass. The whole area feels like that, actually. I can't get caught. Oh, it sees me. Oh, fuck. I lived! My scarf is shorter though. This is where I correlated the length of my scarf with my health. I attempted to fly over these two, but with my scarf damaged. Someone didn't turn off their phone. But with my scarf damaged, I couldn't fly as long as I needed to. I skated down the hill, racing towards the light, and the barrier stopped them. The next statue reveals more than the others. These symbols spread across the sky like stars, from a ray of light, such as the beginning of the game. You arrive. The door opens and we continue. The next room seems almost symbolic to me. You find murals on each level and they don't make sense straight away. Each mural raises the amount of symbols in the center tower, and that level will be filled up with light. As more and more levels fill up with light, the music swells. Violin and other string instruments fill you with a sense of completeness. With every mural completed, you begin to realize that they're about you, about your journey. The music changes to woodwind instruments on wind chime. It evolves and you can't quite figure out why. Another statue. Symbol and light bathes over you as you absorb more and more symbols. The white figure shows you, and more importantly, the player character, their journey. The music again here is just perfect, and I'm running out of words to explain how. There's something to be said about fate here. All of these murals, did they always exist? Are we just following a predestined outcome? As a game, yeah, sure, of course, but for our character, are they destined to do this? Or maybe it's the other way around. These murals may be adapting to the player's journey. And yeah, they kind of are. I looked at some other people's gameplay and they only had one red robe figure, whereas I had two in some areas because of my companions. And yet, our journey isn't over. We're yet to hit the peak of the mountain, and it looks like it's going to be our hardest trial yet. I took a moment here to think during my playthrough. No one's told me to go there, no one's in danger, nothing of value is promised. I could put the game down right now and nothing would change. I feel like I owe it to my character, to this silent red robed figure, to complete their journey. To allow them their destiny. So I continued. Outside, we face a snow-covered mountain. The peak is closer than ever, but it's still so far away. The wind is a massive obstacle here. It will force you back unless you take cover. I continue to chirp here. It gives me a feeling of comfort, and I'm always reminded of this quote. In the dark times, will there always be singing? Yes, there will also be singing about the dark times. I continue up the mountain and I get caught by another one of these giants. Our journey is becoming more and more perilous. I get caught a third and final time. My scarf is a little more than a small piece of cloth. I can't afford to get caught again. We push further into the summit, doing our best not to be pushed off these railings by the wind. Despite how far I go, I can't help but to feel the peak isn't getting closer, and all that's left is this final walk. I push on through the lightning and the wind. We get pushed from side to side and the mountain gets no closer. The snow continues to wear us down, and less of these stones appear. My walking becomes sluggish. I want to stop. I need to stop, but I can't. I need to reach the peak. The peak vanishes. I stop for a moment, thinking if this was even the right choice. I push a little bit further before I collapse. I'm surrounded by 6 of the white figures. I rise. My scarf extends to longer than I've ever been shown. Colour returns to my body and I'm surrounded by light. The giants soar around me, but not even they can stop me. I burst through the storm and find myself above it all. The sky is clear, and so is my goal. I'm such a fucking dork. Like, that's such a dumb fucking line. Every red cloth that's helped me get this far is at the peak. The small clothes, the cloth creatures, the ribbon bridges. It's all here. I can't really express this feeling in words. It's empowering, it's freedom, it's satisfying, it's enlightenment. I take my final flight towards the top of the mountain. My body is bathed in light as my screen turns brighter and brighter. There's nothing else. This is the end, and that sense of finality is present. For the last time, I chirp as I approach the end. After I pass through the light, I'm left behind, and the character goes on without me. They don't need me anymore. The credits begin to play, showing a ray of light at the mountaintop travelling backwards throughout the game. Everything that we've experienced, it lands where we started, and the sun begins to rise. A new day's begun, and we're at the title screen again. So, what was the story of this game? I have no clue. I'm gonna warn you, this probably won't make much sense as it's really hard to put experiences into words. Unless you're German, I guess. Did you know they have a word for the panic that you get when time's running out? Anyway, I think that Journey is a story about life in all of its forms. The visions that the white figures show us are what happened to their civilization, and I believe that it's a warning on the way that we humans consume. Alright, I'm not going to make sense here, but just follow me. If you interpret the white figures as humanity and the red cloths as nature, then it's a story very similar to ours. The cloth creatures are very similar to animals. Even some of the more advanced creatures make sounds similar to whale songs. These small cloths are like flora and insects. They're normally in one place, but they're all together. The cloth creatures are more like animals. They show a sense of communication, and the way that they move is very similar to like fish and birds. When we skate down the sand, I feel like a bird soaring in formation, or the way that horses run together. But it's more than that. The red cloths also represent natural resources. They're used at what seems to be an energy source in Journey, an energy source that the white figures abused and eventually ran out of. The white figures began fighting over it, but I think that this scene is them using the giants and the remaining energy as weapons against each other. That's what's led to their civilization dying. But after they all died, life began to take over again. The skies lit up with symbols, and you were born. Okay, so what is the player character? Well, I think it's a vessel created by nature, and I think they're a vessel for you. The goal is yours. The vessel doesn't care about getting to the top, you do. You're the reason for the journey in the first place. So what's the point? Well, the white figures are beyond our understanding of technology, and I think in a super crazy meta sense, nature and Journey is trying to warn us through the vessel. What I mean is, I think that the game is trying to warn us, and the characters in the game are trying to warn us about the way that we use natural resources and the way that we abuse nature. The entire experience was tailor-made for you. Yeah, you and me and anyone else that plays Journey. When the vessel sees their journey and their fate is decided, they understand their purpose. For the final climb to the peak, it's not about listening to the lessons of Journey, it's about paying back and granting the vessel its final purpose. When the vessel reaches the peak and it all starts again, it's to teach others its lesson. Similarly, when you play through the game again, you know what to expect, you know the game, but the companions that you meet might not. So just like real life, you can take the experiences and lessons that you've learned and bestow them onto other people. If you complete specific objectives, you'll be granted the white robe, similar to the white figures. This game has taught you everything you need to be a new guiding light for players, and this is all seamless. There's something to be said about the futility of life. That sounds so deep. If we interpret the story of Journey to be a story about life, then it's showing you the hardships that life will throw at you, the freedom and completeness that you can attain from it. All you have to do is chirp and sing and communicate and be one with not only yourself but everything around you. In that sense, reaching the summit is like some form of passing on, heaven, nirvana, enlightenment, whatever you want to call it, but then it all begins again, because it's not quite your time yet. You have more to learn, you always have more to learn. The goal isn't the important part, it never was. The story of Journey, at the end of the day, it's yours, because it's not the destination that matters, it's the journey. God, that's so fucking corny, why did I write that? God, this game is so pretty. Through all of it, the visuals are stunning, the colours, the fluidity, the lighting. There are moments of this game where I genuinely didn't know how to react to it beyond stunned silence. I have no notes on the visuals, they're perfect. Any effort to improve them would just be in vain. The constant use of scale used in the area designs are just perfect. The visuals in this game are just as important as anything else. But then there's the music. The music turns Journey from a 9 to a 10. The music is perfect. The timing is spectacular. The game starts with little instruments. The cello is the only consistent instrument, and it's the first one that you ever hear. Over the span of the game, it becomes a concerto. The music is dynamic, responding to what's going on in game. Like, listen to the differences between these two moments. I missed out on it since I never stayed with my companions, but whenever you're around other players, the orchestral nature of the music is brought out. I could talk about Journey for another half hour, but it would really just come out as an incoherent string of loosely connected words. Journey's one of those games. One of those 1 in a million lightning in a bottle experiences. That's not to say that there's nothing like Journey, but Journey does it the best. If you like Journey, then you should probably check out Sky Children of Light. It's by the same developers, got a very similar sense of, scale and presentation. Journey is such an emotional game. You can see how instantly it strikes a chord with fans and critics. According to Chen, 3 of the 25 playtesters cried at the end of the game, and yeah, I can believe that. If you've never played the game, you're probably going, yeah, whatever, but if you've played it, you're nodding along because you know exactly what it's like to play this game. Hey, you made it to the end. Thanks! I really appreciate you for sticking around and listening to my barely coherent explanation of this masterpiece of a game. What do you think about Journey? Let me know. I know I said that I'd be doing the Fallout Tactics video, but oh boy, that is not a good game. I'll come back to it eventually, but it's definitely been put on the back burner. I'll still be doing, 3 New Vegas, 4, 76, so don't worry, like all the Fallout stuff is still coming. Hopefully this video is enough to tide you over until the next video. That's pretty much it from me. Like I said, I've got Discord now, link to join is in the description. I'd like to thank Deodorant and Real Arthur DR for these super cool pieces of art. Seriously, thanks guys, it means the world to me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye!